Happy GA Flashback Friday, TGIF. I hope you guys are having a fantastic start to your weekend. I know I'm exhausted. Last night there was massive storms all around us. A lot of wind damage, a lot of rain, a lot of yuckiness, some clouds that looked like that they had teeth. I was not down. And I just haven't slept well all week anyway, and last night was no exception. It was just awful. Like, I am so over Mother Nature just being pissy, and for whatever reason, she has been, like, epically pissy the last couple of weeks. We've gotten a lot of storms, and a lot of flooding, and a lot of rain, and ugh, hashtag over it. And not to mention, now, you'd think, oh, it's the weekend, you can catch up on sleep, right? Wrong. My daughter's long-awaited birthday party is finally this weekend. She is so excited. So really that's all that matters to me, is that she's happy and excited. But tomorrow night I'm going to have, I believe, 9 or 10 kids, girls in my house, ranging from 5 to 9. And they're all staying the night. So if you guys never see me again, I love you all. It was nice knowing you, but I did not make it out alive. No, really, I think they'll be fine, but I'm a little leery. This is like the first time I've had a major sleepover with a bunch of people in my house. Like, I'm treading into unknown territory here. Like, I remember doing this to my mother as a kid, but I am now the mom, and I am now the one planning the party and making sure that everybody's taken care of, and there's no food allergies, and I have numbers for, it's just a mess. Like, I'm just losing my mind. I'll be glad when it's over, but I know that she's really excited, and I can't wait just to see the happiness in her face, and so it makes it all worth it in the end. But we are not here to talk about the weather or the fact that you guys may never hear from me again after tomorrow night's Monster High extravaganza. We are here for GA Flashback Friday, where we recap one of our past favorite episodes of Ghost Adventures, and today, oh my god, I'm so excited! Today, we are going to Poveglia Island in Venice, Italy, and oh my god, it is hands down my all-time favorite episode of Ghost Adventures ever, 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 ever. And if you've seen the episode, you freaking know why. This place does not play. And we will get into all of that, and we are going to get started because I'm so excited, and I have waited for this episode for months and months and months and months and months. And I'm, so we are just going to go right into it. Yo. As always, I like to give you guys a little bit of history about the location. Poveglia Island, like I said, is located in Venice, off the coast of Venice, Italy, which really, Venice is on water, so, I mean, it's just kind of on down the way, but it's an island just outside of Venice, and this island is literally, like, formed by the ashes of people that have died. That's your first indication that this place is no joke. This island is one of the darkest, scariest spots on Earth. It is horrifically haunted. It was the home of a mental institution at one point. It had a hospital on it. They would take people over there when they would begin to show signs of the plague and basically leave them there to die. Or they would burn them. It's seen 3 plagues, the worst of which was in the 1600s, which killed 55,000 people. Oh my god. Like, you hear of a haunted location that's killed, like, 100 people. Or 1,000 people. But 55,000 people? No. Just no. You just know instantly. You don't mess with that. No. It's absolutely insane. Like, the guys get over there, and it is just, the energy on the island affects them during walkthrough. It is absolutely insanity. Like, it's just absolutely insane. Like, there's buildings you can't go into. You can see where they tried to renovate them and they stopped, and it's just not, it's not safe. There's so many places over there with such dark, nasty energy, and going into lockdown, because their walkthrough was very short. Like, no one wanted to be over there. The Italian government has now banned people from going to Poveglia. Like, it's that serious. Fishermen won't fish there. It's cursed. You just don't go. People will not stay over there. And the GAC was the first crew to do a full-blown paranormal investigation on Poveglia, which I think is awesome. But there's good reason for that. So like I said, going into lockdown, because walkthrough was insanely short. Like they spent very little time on the island prior to investigating it, because no one wanted to be over there. No one wanted to give them a tour because it was just absolutely that bad. So when they get to the boats to go to lockdown, there was an X in the sky. I knew right then and there that this lockdown was going to be epic, because it eerily resembled the X's that they used to place their static night vision cameras on. And it was like straight up in the sky, just this giant white X. And I'm like, oh, hell no, here we go. And then the boat wouldn't start. Okay, if I seen an X in the sky and the boat would not start, sorry about your luck, Chuck, I'm not going. Like, I just would know from the get-go that it would not be the place to be. Like, just, no. And Aaron even said it. He's like, I think we should listen to that curse. Like, that whole curse thing, I think that's serious. I think we should listen to that, guys. Like, we shouldn't do this. But, of course, they go because it's the GAC and they don't back down from a challenge. But they get the boat started, they get over to Poveglia, and they get lockdown started. And lockdown. Oh my God. Okay, so first of all, this island is pitch black. There's no electricity on the island at all. Let's lay that out there right now. Like, there's nothing. There's nothing on this island but abandoned buildings and now 3 guys who are absolutely nutso for even being over there. But they break out all their equipment and they get started, because it is like they're over there 2 seconds and things are moving and they're hearing footsteps and they're hearing moans and voices. So Zach gets out his EMF detector and they hear like this disembodied voice and this loud bang, and then they get a spike, a 3.5 spike on the EMF detector, which there shouldn't be a spike of any kind because there's no electricity over there. There's nothing creating an electromagnetic field except ghosts. And then they are speaking to them in Italian, and they are asking them to, or Nick is asking them to use their energy. They're like, use my energy. Big mistake. With those words, all hell kind of breaks loose in rapid fashion. Like, they go from hearing, they're all standing completely still, and they hear footsteps running at them, followed by this really loud bang, like something was knocked over. And then next thing you know, Zach has no energy. Like, he looks like he's going to fall over. And there's orbs being captured. Aaron has no energy. It's just a mess. Like, it's all falling apart fast. So Zach breaks out, like, the Melmeter, like the big Melmeter, and because it measures temperature and fluctuation as well as EMF, and they get the highest recorded spike on an EMF detector, like, ever. Mind you, like I said, there's nothing over there to create an electromagnetic field at all. They're not using, REM pod, they're not using anything to create a field. It's just the environment, the natural environment. And they get a 22.2 spike on the Melmeter. And then the Melmeter dies. Run. Leave. Go away. Like, this is no joke. Like, this is crazy to me. Like, at this point, I'm going, leave. Why are you there? Like, I'm all about going and, like, facing my fear, and I would be the first one to taunt the crap out of them. No. So, after the Melmeter quits working, the scariest moment in GAC history takes place, to me. This, to me, was bigger than Bobby Mackey's. This was bigger than anybody getting, kind of blacking out and something taking over. Zach gets possessed. And this is not a minor thing. What we see on the episode is 3 minutes, maybe, of what was actually like almost 2 hours of him screaming profanities at Aaron and Nick, yelling, throwing things, just being very not himself. So the Mel meter quits working, is drained of its battery. Zach is standing in a doorway. Aaron is kind of beside him. Nick is filming. Zach looks up, and his face is not Zach. Like, it is stone cold. It is hard as ice. It is just terrifyingly scary. And he starts kind of mumbling things under his breath, and then he yells something at Aaron that we can't really understand, but I think the words mother effer came out of his mouth a couple of times, and he's like, me? Like, Aaron's like, what the hell? He's like, yeah, I'm talking to you. And he's like, whoa, dude. Like, he knew instantly that it was not Zach. And Zach kind of arches his arm back like he's going to hit Aaron. And so Aaron kind of runs away, and he's like, get out of here, get out of here. And he's like screaming at them. And then they kind of, you can tell it's all been edited together. And Zach starts shaking. Like shaking. And kind of snaps his camera apart. And he punches the wall as he's coming, and he's screaming because as he's kind of coming out of it. And it was just one of those moments where I go, this is no joke. Like, this is, you do not play with this stuff. Like, this showed you just how scary and how dangerous an investigation can turn like that. It was hands down one of the scariest moments in GAC history ever. It also makes it the best episode ever because Zach was brave enough to even show a little bit of that. And he's went on the record saying why he didn't show the full thing. Zach does not have children of his own. He's not married. He's not a dad. But he's got a niece and nephew that mean the world to him. And they're getting to the age now where they kind of they've started watching Ghost Adventures and kind of seeing what, like, Uncle Zach does. And the last thing he wanted them to see was him not himself. He didn't want to do that to them. He didn't want to scare them. He didn't want to hurt them in any way. And so he chose, for the sake of the show, to edit it down enough for us to understand what happened there, but not so much so that we were scared and that his family was scared, because I'm sure his family worries about him enough doing what he does every day. They don't need to see that darkness take over him. I'm sure they've seen him get scratched and they've seen him, be affected, but being affected on that kind of level is so much more than a scratch, or while a scratch is very serious and you don't play with those either, being full on, like, taken over by something else is not a joke. And it is just so intensely scary. And so then they get him out of the room, but he doesn't want to leave the building. Like, he stops. And he's like, they want us to die here. And they're like, Zach, get up. Let's get you out. He's like, no, just give me a minute. It was almost like something was holding him there. Like, he was still Zach, but something was holding him there. And finally they get him out. And he even says, like, once I left that area, like, a dark veil had been lifted. And they had some holy water with them that Bishop Long had given him there. He was the guy that had done... he was the priest that had done the second episode of Bobby Mackey's with them. And then he was also on their event with them that was really bad as well. And he had given them some holy water to use in emergency situations. And they kind of stand out in the field and put it on and say, rid me of all evil spirits, rid me of this place. And it's just, they had to pause the investigation. And even they began to second guess what they were doing in the moment, because it was dangerous and they didn't know what else was in store, but they knew that they had to go on. And so from there, they kind of took a break, stood outside, gathered their thoughts, and then they made their way to the fields where the bodies were burned during the plague. And this ground is not dirt. It's ash. Literally ash. Like, Zach had a knife, and he was, like, digging in the dirt, and he, like, scraped it up, and when he threw it up in the air, it was ashes. It was not normal dirt. To the point of where they even, like, get a bone fragment, and it looked like they, like, straight up cracked through his skull. Oh, hell no. Like, that, it's just, it's so sad and so disheartening just to think that you were walking on people. Like, that's just crazy to me. I mean, I'm sure that when you go to, like, certain locations or certain places, there's times where people have, like, dumped, you know, family members' ashes out in the sand or whatever because that was their favorite beach in the entire world or whatever. But to think that you're just, wherever you walk, wherever you go on the island is ash. It's human bodies. It's so sad and, in a way, to me, disrespectful. Not on the guys, but just that they were just burned like that. They were just thrown there. Just left there. Like, they weren't given a proper goodbye. And they wonder why the island is freaking nasty, haunted, and gross. And it's because these people are mad. They're hurt. They didn't ask to get sick. Some of them didn't even have the plague. But back then, people couldn't really tell what was the flu and what was the bubonic plague. I mean, and they were sent over there to die or go crazy or both. It was just absolutely horrendous to me. And so they get over there and they get in the fields and they set up kind of a static night vision camera and they're all standing still and something runs through through the field. You can hear it, like you can hear the footsteps, and it knocks over the camera on the bridge. And there was not enough wind for the wind to knock it over. And they had been getting tons of voices and disembodied screams, and it was just start to finish cram-packed with evidence. But some of the best parts, aside from the evidence it already collected, was when they'd split up. Zach went back to the area where he kind of got possessed and got moans and footsteps and an EVP in English that said, "Let's fight," and it was really sinister. Like, it was really evil. And then the temp on the millimeter, he got the millimeter back up and going, and the temperature on the millimeter went from 85 degrees to like 69 degrees, like that. It literally just dropped. And he knew then that he was in the presence of something, because it was not messing around. Like, it was screaming and throwing shit, and it was just a disaster. Aaron goes to get the cameras from the field, and on the camera they captured like this mist almost running through the field. It was a straight up apparition running through the field, and they noticed that they had captured it on their camera while they were gone, and they also got a moan to go with that. And then he makes his way over to the bell tower and captures a voice and sound and something that sounds like it's being thrown, like a rock. And Aaron, in true Aaron fashion, at this point, we're in season 3, so he's gotten better, he's gotten braver. You know, before he would not have even went there alone. But he hears all these noises, and he's like, "I got a machete." He's like, I will mess him up. And I'm like, oh yeah, Aaron, good job, a machete. Honey, they're already dead. You can't kill them twice. Like, I'm thinking, what is a machete gonna do? Really? But it was so typical Aaron, it just made me giggle. So he got some really good evidence in the bell tower where a doctor had thrown himself from after he went mad and butchered all of his patients to death, because that's hot. And then Nick is in the chapel and the hospital, and he gets the same thing, just a lot of disembodied voices, but he also captures, his camera also captures this black mist and this really loud moan. It was just insanity. Their cameras kept malfunctioning. It was just nuts. Like, this episode is just no joke. From start to finish, it does not stop. It does not play. It is one of the scariest episodes ever, and yet is my all-time favorite, because it teaches you so much about the paranormal, and it teaches you so much about the dangers of the paranormal. It's one of those episodes that teaches you that this is no joke. You don't play with this stuff. This isn't fun and games. This isn't for the weak at heart. This isn't for someone who thinks, oh, I want to hear a bump in the night. This is hardcore paranormal investigation at its finest. And I will forever and ever and ever love this episode. Even though every time I watch it, it kills me to watch Zach go through that, because I care about them and I think that they're really awesome guys and I don't want anything, bad to happen to them. But I'm so grateful that he was brave enough to share that experience, because he could have just put that away and not shown it at all. They could have edited that to make it not even happen in the show. And yet he stepped forward and said, no, you know what? They're going to get a snippet of it because I want them to see how dangerous this is. I just, hands down, I love Poveglia. I would love to go there myself someday. It is on my bucket list. Whether I could get over there and investigate or not, I don't know how I would have to, kiss the Italian government's ass to, get me to do it. But I would love to go over there and investigate it and spend a night on it and be scared out of my mind and experience it, because it is so epic that I think it just needs to happen. Bucket list. But that is all I have for GA Flashback Friday. I will be back on Tuesday for GAQA Tuesday, where I answer all of your Ghost Adventures related questions that you guys ask me about the guys, the show, their favorite food, color, car, all of the above. All up on the Facebook page. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe with Mother Nature being all gripey and pissy wherever you may be. Much love and happiness.